The New York Knicks hosted the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight in their second head-to-head matchup of the season. Knicks won the first game in Minnesota on November 7th, 2022 by the score of 120 to 107, and the Timberwolves came into tonight's game at 35-37, sitting at 9th in the Western Conference and fighting to keep their play-in spot. Meanwhile, the Knicks were sitting at 42-30 coming to tonight, 5th in the Eastern Conference. The Timberwolves came into tonight shorthanded, missing their leading scorer Anthony Edwards with an ankle injury. And the next man up identity meant that Taurean Prince would be inserted into the starting lineup, next to rising young talent Jaden McDaniels on the wings. I asked Coach Chris Finch before the game about McDaniels' development as an offensive weapon and how could it help the Timberwolves in not only the short, but the long term. Coach, going back to Jaden real quick, he's had his best scoring month of the season so far, averaging over 15 points a game on over 50% from the field and 40% from three. How important is it for his offensive development for the short term and the long term of this franchise?
Huge. Jaden's had he's had significant growth through the season in terms of opportunity and role and production. He's coming into the season kind of picking up where he left off last year. Corner spacer, really good cutter off a Cat. Cat goes down. He has to find a new rhythm playing out there without Cat. He's found a chemistry with Rudy. Being a little bit more active, find himself in a little more actions, and then now Ant goes down. Now it's balls in his hands a little earlier. He's developed more of a dribble game. He's had that, but now he has an opportunity to show it. He shot the ball extremely well, continues to do so. It's been big for us, so it's been fun to watch him grow, and right now we need it.
On the other hand, the Knicks entered on a 3-game winning streak and 12-3 in their last 15 games. Before the game, I asked Coach Tom Thibodeau about the impressive Knicks rebounding and how much of a luxury it is to have multiple guys to keep possessions alive. Coach, we've seen the team win the rebounding battle the last 5 games, and I just want to go back to that. The Knicks are now second in total rebounding and offensive rebounding. How much of a luxury is it having 4 or 5 guys that can keep possessions alive for your team?
Well, it's huge, I think. And those are, to me, effort plays, and they're hustle plays. And so it's not glamorous, but it's critical in terms of helping you win. And so, oftentimes, and I've said this from the beginning, and it usually starts with Mitch. Mitch, I think, is the best offensive rebounder in the league, and oftentimes there's more than one guy on him. So that frees up someone else to go. And he still gets to it. And when you get a team that's hustling like that, good things come from that.
The two teams look to improve their playoff standing after tonight, and we were sure to get an entertaining matchup. The two teams started off the game trading haymakers, as the Knicks were propelled by a hot R.J. Barrett start, and the Timberwolves had multiple guys ready to score. The Timberwolves did not miss a single shot until the 5 minutes and 3 seconds mark of the first quarter, and that set the tone for the rest of the night. Offense, and more offense. The Knicks trailed by as many as 15 points, but they managed to finish the first quarter down 42-32. The second quarter was more of the same, as the Timberwolves kept them firing from 3 and kept on hitting every single shot. Timberwolves' offensive onslaught continued as they extended their lead to 17 points, the largest of the night by either team, behind a Taurean Prince three-pointer that put the Timberwolves up 70-53, with 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the second quarter. However, Julius Randle takeover began then, as Randle scored 12 of the next 16 Knicks points to cut the halftime deficit to 79-70. Randle went into halftime with 26 points, and he was starting to get very hot toward the end. The third quarter was the Julius Randle show. The two-time All-Star continued his scorching hot end of the second half and put the Knicks on his back, scoring 26 points in the third quarter, with the most impressive being the shot to get him over the 50-point mark. Randle caught a pass from Jalen Brunson at the top of the key, and after initially fumbling the ball for a second, he got the ball back and put Naz Reid in the blender with an array of James Harden-esque moves before hitting a nasty step-back three to send the Garden into a frenzy. Knicks kept chipping away and ended the quarter only trailing 109-108, and it seemed like all the momentum was on the Knicks side, with Randle at 52 points through 3 quarters and the Timberwolves slowing down a little bit. Julius Randle sat at the beginning of the fourth quarter to get some rest, and the Knicks and the Timberwolves just continued to trade buckets until Randle re-entered the game at the 7-minute 29 mark, with the Knicks leading 123-120. The Knicks kept on fending off the Timberwolves' blows until the 3-minute and 12 mark, where Josh Hart got a steal on the fast break, and it felt like the tide of the game was about to turn. It was about to be a 5-point game, However, Hart missed a layup on his end, and then the Timberwolves just turned it around and hit Jaden McDaniels for a wide open three-pointer to tie the game up at 1:29 with 3 minutes left. The crowd was silent, and from there on out, it felt like the tide was shifted, and the Timberwolves found that final push, with Mike Conley hitting 3 free throws off of a bad Emmanuel Quickley foul, Taurean Prince hitting his 8th three-pointer of the game, and Jaden McDaniels hitting 2 big free throws to put the Timberwolves up 137-131 with 1 minute and 27 seconds left in the game. However, the Knicks did not go down without a fight, as Julius Randle, the man of the hour, had a 3-point play to cut the Knicks deficit down to 3 points with 42 seconds left. It looked like the Knicks were about to get a much-needed stop, when Jalen Brunson forced Jaden McDaniels into a tough long two-pointer that McDaniels missed. However, Randle fumbled the rebound, and Kyle Anderson snatched it out of his grasp. And Taurean Prince, the hero of the night for Minnesota, iced the game with a huge contact layup that put the Timberwolves up 5, and they never looked back from there on out. You could see Julius Randle absolutely livid with himself on the inbound for not grabbing the rebound, and he almost slammed the ball down. And that led to a technical foul on his end, leading to Mike Conley finishing the game off with a technical free throw. The final score of the game was 140-134. The Timberwolves came out with a massive win for their prospects. They survived a 57-point performance from Julius Randle with some scorching hot shooting on their own, namely by Taurean Prince, who shot 12 of 13 and 8 of 8 from 3, finished with a team-high 35 points. The Timberwolves shot an astounding 61.4% from the field and 58.3% from 3, as they had 7 double-digit scores and a crucial win to keep them afloat in the play-in race out west. This moved them up to 8th in the Western Conference standings, and this was massive for their prospects going forward into the play-in and hopefully the playoffs for them. After the game, I talked to Coach Chris Finch about the changes he had to make in the fourth quarter to slow down Julius Randle after 52 points in the first 3 quarters. Coach, obviously Randle had the scorching first 3 quarters, had 52 points by the end of 3, 26 in the third quarter. What changed in the fourth quarter, final 12 minutes? What adjustments do you really make to let everybody else beat you pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, guys took his space away a little bit better, got into him, didn't give him the space for the step back, which he had going. Crowded him a bit more. He was making the tough turnaround on the block. We kind of threw 1 or 2 doubles at him. Sometimes, he's a phenomenal player. I coached him in New Orleans. He's a great guy, unbelievable offensive talent. Sometimes guys kind of run out of gas too, it's not going to stay that hot forever. So we were taking a little bit of a bet that as long as we, we're in the lead, we didn't want to compromise our defense everywhere else just to chase that as long as we had the lead. Then when we got down, it was different. Then we had to, tighten them up a bit.
The Knicks fall to 42-31, and now they sit 3 games behind the 4th-seeded Cavaliers and 2 games ahead of the 6th-seeded Nets, as they travel to Miami to take on the Heat on Wednesday, March 22nd. But until then, with all of your Knicks coverage for WFUV Sports, I'm Tyler Hu, signing off.